Hello, everyone. Slicky Campbell here, and let's talk about some discourse. The archive fashion community. Yes, the people that are spending $2,000 to $3,000 on a random jacket, shirt, pair of pants from a collection and making outfits out of it.
Wait.
I want to talk about what that archive community is, what it looks like, and how it's become so insufferable the last couple years on TikTok and just social media in general. And this conversation was kind of brought up based on some TikTok drama, so I will be referencing that a little bit and just my personal experiences with people that are archive community members and etc., etc. So let's get into it. So what exactly is the fashion archive fashion community? Well, honestly, it is just genuinely people that like very specific pieces from collections probably 15 to 20, 25 plus years ago. I don't know the specific range of when something's considered archive. I feel like it could be as easily as like last year's collection of a certain brand, or it could have to be
20 plus years. I don't know.
but people in this community like a certain piece based on the way it fits them, the way it's been portrayed on the runway, or it portrays to their personal style or design language, blah, 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 blah. And I don't mind that. And when I was very into fashion in my teenage college years, these people seemed very cool to me. It was like, oh, you are so obsessed with this one piece and you are kind of using this one piece to style a lot of your outfits. I thought that was really cool. It was a really cool way to keep your outfits very similar, but also spin them by adding different shoes, pants, etc. Well, this style of dressing and this community has kind of been
Quote unquote gentrified, I would say.
by the TikTok community just because I feel like TikTok always just is like a virus and is always just infecting different subgenres or subcultures anywhere now. So now that TikTok has pretty much infected the archive fashion community, there's been some changes to it. I've seen some people call like Kiss Boots Archive from Rick Owens, or I've seen like the Raph Simmons Nebraska sweater. I think that's kind of really technically archive, I guess, at this point. I think it came out in the late or early 2000s, somewhere around that.
Don't quote me on that.
But yeah, there's this weird definition of what it is. And to me now, it's just people dressing up in Rick Owens, like Raph Simmons, nihilistic clothing, I guess. It's a lot of black, it's a lot of neutrals, boots, a lot of dark leather, stuff like that. But archive fashion was more so just, it was you're referencing or you have a piece from a very, very early collection and like the 80s, 90s, so on and so on. And you can kind of get the idea of the sense of person I'm talking about that is on TikTok that kind of dresses very dark, very all leather, a lot of Rick Owens, Playboy Cardi fans, Opium fans. No, but it's a lot of teenagers, it's a lot of it's a lot of people in their early 20s that are getting into fashion and have really only ever been into fashion while TikTok has been around. And with archive fashion now, there's a level of uppityness, a level of just bourgeoisie, I guess you could say, in this community. I feel like they feel like they are the superior class in the fashion world. Like, oh, I know this knowledge of this one piece. I know this knowledge of this fashion show, and that makes me like the ultimate style icon, I guess, in their opinion. They have a Prada trench coat from 2000 autumn winter, and that makes them the most stylish. Or they have a Raph Simmons pair of pants, or they know Sterling Rubin and Raph Simmons, so they just think they are the most stylish person ever. So going off that, let's talk about the TikTok drama.
Always got to talk about the TikTok drama.
So let's get into the TikTok drama. So we have a creator, Adame Cross, I think is his name. He is pretty much talking about archive fashion and how it is not necessarily racist by any means, but there's definitely some anti-black or just some sentiments where he's like, there's only white and Asian teenagers that participate really in archive fashion. And it's funny because there are a lot of people that mostly agreed with him. And I see that a lot in the archive community where it is, there are some really popular black creators that are in the archive community, but also there are a lot of the elitist ones are like the white teenagers who are like, if you're not into archive fashion, then you don't know anything about fashion. Like if you, for God forbid, wear sneakers, or if you, God forbid, wear, shorts instead of selvage denim, like you don't know shit. You need to go back into your hole.
And you need to get your style now.
And I think he has a point. I feel like a lot of the archive community, what they'll do is they'll position their fashion knowledge against people that simply are more into the streetwear lane, or they are more into other types of fashion, and they'll dog on them because it's like, you don't know the true fashion history of anything. Da, 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 da. And it's like, bro, it's not that serious. And also, if someone has found their personal style and what has worked for them, that's good, right? That is all about what fashion is. And different styles on different people just make the fashion community better, in my opinion, as a whole. So Adame Cross makes that video, and Boy Life Ryan responds to the video, pretty much saying is like, why are you racially grouping these communities? And why would you ever say this? There's popular Black archive creators. And to me, it was giving, oh, I have a Black friend, so there's no possible way I can be racist. Like, just because there's one or two people that are in your friend group or are in your community doesn't mean that there are racist undertones in a community or yourself. And I genuinely think a lot of people agreed with Adame. They even, I think, went back onto Boy Life Ryan's video, were like, yeah, you kind of proved his point, because everyone that was in his comment section, Adame's comment section, was saying racist things, using racist emojis and whatnot to clap back at him. And there were people stitching Adame's video talking about, because you wear Jordans from 2016, you're not fashionable, which is just not the case. If someone is into streetwear and is in the streetwear community, they can be more fashionable than someone that is in archivist per se. And I think that's the beauty of fashion. I think someone that is more on the archivist side of things can be more fashionable than someone in streetwear. It just depends how you bring yourself forward through your fashion. It's just that simple. Like, someone can be more stylish than someone else if they don't know about certain fashion shows. And that's where that elitist behavior comes in, where they're like, oh, you wear streetwear brands, you don't know shit about fashion. It's like, no, you can know shit about everything and still be into fashion. And it's funny because I looked through Adame's videos and he talks about everything. He talks about Louis Vuitton collections, he talks about Jordans, he talks about accessories like glasses, eyewear, jewelry. So it's a very well-rounded TikTok page all about fashion. It seems like he just enjoys more of the streetwear aesthetic or streetwear styles, and that's what he's probably grown up with more. And, participating in the fashion community for the last 10 years has just been
the craziest journey.
It's funny because ever since 2015, there's always been this hype beast trend, and there's always been people that have felt, elitism in fashion when it comes to buying overpriced items to flex on people. And now it's kind of gone into this archive community who they search for these really expensive items and pieces to flex on someone to know that they have this fashion knowledge and that they're really into fashion, and you're not really into fashion because you don't know what this jacket came from, or you don't know this product collection, you don't know this Rick Owens collection, so you don't know anything about fashion. And it's always been transforming in different communities and stuff like that. And I think with TikTok and more social media platforms bringing knowledge to, like I said, all kind of subcultures, you're always going to find elitism. And I do think there is a lot of elitism in the archive community. It's better to not just label yourself in one community and go out and try different styles. Mix streetwear with archive, and actually meet people outside of your archivist bubble. Meet people in streetwear and get to learn about streetwear and know about it. Like, that is the beauty of fashion, because there's so many different people involved in it from so many different backgrounds, and that's, as a fashion community, we get better. And it's very racially undertoned, because it's like the white guy that knows about the fashion show because he had access to watch these fashion show is telling the Black guy that wears a lot of streetwear, hey, you're not knowledgeable about this because you're not really into streetwear. You're Jordans and you're Eric Emanuel and you're this fucking blows. And it's like, bro, let's call a spade a spade. Like, that is obviously, if that's not racist, there's definitely some racial undertones in that.
But the biggest thing is I want to know what you all think. Have you felt this sentiment from the archive community? Do you think there is a lot of racial undertones and, you know, how they portray themselves, their thoughts and opinions and views? Do you think this is a non-issue? Please let me know in the comments. I love trying to interact with people and getting your thoughts on different ideas in the fashion world. So let me know in the comments, and I will see you all for another video later. Bye.